Hey guys, Sabrefox91o here, and welcome back to the second cast of the game. Guys, today will be casting the DGL Premier Division, where it's xTc Black versus Noobs Inc. And I am joined by my co-caster, Ulturism. Ulturism, how do you feel about this second game?
What's up, guys? Always good to have you here. I'm pretty excited about this. We've just seen xTc. They just went down to DC, damage control. Very close games, though. They went 3-2 on King's Row, down where they pushed it to the final point, and they just couldn't get it over the finish line. Then we saw them play Lijiang Tower, went one round down, pulled it back, went 2-1 up, and then lost the last two by just not being able to capitalize and get on the point and the team fight. So they all warmed up. I'm sure we've seen Patches on his Widowmaker tonight. Has been doing a lot of work. Wood's Roadhog as ever. Big Papa Dean's been getting huge numbers on the healing side. So this is going to be my first game watching Noobs, though. I know a couple of the players that do it. Shout out to Nianfo. He and I play Rocket League together and everything. Such a nice guy. Such a gifted player. I mean, some of these guys are starting to aim towards top 500 players. So really skilled team is this Noobs Gaming. Ironically, of course they would name themselves Noobs when they're one of the top teams in South Africa. But
yeah, it's one of those ironic names.
Yeah, exactly. So both teams have a lot of skill, and xTc's certainly got the warm-up behind them now. And as long as I think they can get that unity and get that clear game plan, they could give this Noobs side a lot of work to do tonight.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, xTc, Noobs Inc. was actually not, warming up. xTc has the advantage now of being warmed up, hopefully not being tilted by the game they just played and sadly did lose. But, it's like I said, the only way for you to improve is actually to fail first. It's no point actually constantly succeeding if you don't learn anything from it. Because if you succeed, you think, okay, I'm good. I don't have to improve myself yet. I'm great, It's one of those kind of things. But yes, I'm quite interested to see how these two teams will fare, especially Noobs being undefeated, as you did say so. And it's the first time these two teams are playing off in this Premier Division League 3. I'm not entirely sure. I cannot remember. I can't find the previous game of how that went. But at the moment, we are waiting for Noobs Inc. 6th player to arrive. I'm not sure if they're doing the eliminations. Let's just quickly find out about that. Yeah.
So we've seen xTc so far. I mean, we've watched these guys over and over and over. And so far what we've got is they really enjoy Lijiang Tower and King's Row. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see at least one of those maps. We've got Sheep actually coming online now. I thought Nianfo was going to be playing, but apparently they're playing without him. I know he does have a 1v1 tournament, the DGL tonight, so he's probably in the middle of that, and we're going to see these two teams playing. I hope they can get their spots, their maps chosen now. We should see probably at least either Lijiang or King's Row by the side of xTc. They like those two. Other maps that they're also very fond of is Gibraltar. That's a fun map to always see, and they're very, very good on that. And Dorado is also quite a favorite. I see Woer's already banning out Gibraltar, so there goes my hopes and dreams. Always nice to see that three-dimensional play from both of the sides. So there's sad altruism for you there.
Yeah, I'm actually really hoping we don't see the maps we just casted. I want to see new maps, something fresh. And sadly, they really took out Hanamura, so we sadly will not get to see that. And hopefully, the next map to be taken out, and my hopes is King's Row. But then again, King's Row is a very much liked map by all teams, if I'm not mistaken. If they do get the chance to play it, they will play it. But for now, we are still waiting. The second map that got eliminated was Hanamura. First map to be eliminated was Gibraltar. So now we are just waiting for xTc to decide on the next map they want to eliminate. So it's basically at the moment it's anybody's guess. And Ilios is taken out. So no Ilios for anybody today. So sadly that's another map we get to miss out on. But it's nothing to... Yeah.
Enlighten me. everyone keeps banning out Eichenwald. Now, I thought ever since the patch where they made it so much easier to get through the doors at the end, they've pretty much neutralized that, always tie out after the payload goes through the last map. And I know that they've added the extra route now around the choke point in the beginning, so it seems like a much more fair map. Why do you guys keep banning that out? Because it's such a beautiful map, and I always enjoy watching games on that. Is any insights as to why that map keeps not seeing any sort of gameplay?
In my opinion, even if they did change it a bit, when you can still get to other areas, it is still very much a choke point map. It is very open, so it kind of get very annoying for certain players. And I don't know, I just think most people just don't like the design of it. Yes, it is a very beautiful map, but just because a map is beautiful doesn't mean you actually want to play on it. So it's, it's one of those beautifully designed maps for Blizzard actually put a lot of time and effort into it, but it's not appreciated to its full potential, if I can put it like that. So yeah, it seems like, of course, we have the first map, which is King's Row. Second map will be then...
Lijiang's still in the pool, and I think Dorado's also in the pool, and so is Numbani. That's a map that I'd love to get to see. I must admit, I enjoy Numbani because it's one of those that doesn't have any sort of choke point, and the ways to attack it are so varied. And there's Lijiang. So we're going to see King's Row, Lijiang, Dorado. Very standard picks by these guys, and just why do these teams all love King's Row so much?
I think it's one of those very common maps which you always get. When you tend to play competitive or quick play, it's actually, I think it's always one of those, most picked maps. So, and I think it's the easiest to strat for people. So yeah, sadly it's one of those things you just have to accept. People practice more, but I think everybody has a better liking to it because it's very open, but sometimes very narrow. So it compensates for everybody. So yeah, basically at the end, it compensates for everybody, so everybody can have better strats on it, and at the end of the day, have the best gameplay for them.
Now entering.
Well, we did see that a couple of the Noobs players were sitting in our previous stream, busy watching the xTc guys. So they've certainly got a good advantage when it comes to knowing what those xTc guys are like and how they're going to play around it. And we don't see anyone really picking out any special picks. Oh, Big Papa, you disappoint me. I thought you were going May for a second. May can be good on this map because he just gets that. If he gets a good ice wall there, separates the team through that big choke in the middle, and it can make it very difficult to push into it. But he's going back to his Anna. Sheep we see on the... let's chat about the Noobs gaming lineup for now. Walk us through these sort of picks and what they hope to achieve with that, because it is the triple tank lineup that we see a lot.
Yeah, it seems like here from Noobs side, we have the Reinhardt, the Roadhog, and then the Zarya, which is the 3-tank meta. A very common tank meta for a good reason, obviously. For Roadhog, who can actually... He does insanely amounts of damage. So he does, you can compensate him with for an assault kind of scene, and also with that hook and himself here. So you can kind of look after himself. Then Reinhardt is, in my opinion, a must pick with that because of his shields and the amount of damage he also can provide for a team. So he basically can protect the team as well as defend himself. And then also Sheep, which is Zarya. Zarya also providing that little external bar that can protect himself, team, and do a lot of damage, and then clutter up everybody as well. So he can also do a lot of combinations. So the 3-tank meta what they have here is very common, but it's very well picked. And then there's always the Soldier, which is your hit scan for them, causing a lot of damage. And then as always the Lucio for the area heal, speed boost, and then a sound barrier. And then the Anna as always for the extra damage and the range healing.
So we see the two teams right at each other, and now neither team taking a high ground position. We do see the Soldier on the back there, Lights just sitting on the high ground, not really contributing to the fight at this stage, actually just going one-on-one with Toy Rocket, and he manages to get the pick. That's 3 picks for the side now of Noobs Gaming, and we see like a Luke, he's done his job, so he's just taking a last little nap in the middle there. Sheep runs forward, covering from him, just trying to build up some charge at this stage, and Reinhardt Shield's still very healthy, so they're ready for this next push as it comes in. Everyone dodges that nice flame strike, and Noobs is looking pretty solid here on this defense.
Yeah, it seems like Noobs is doing an insanely well job. Patch is actually getting a nice hit there for taking down Sheep, so that's already an advantage in the side for xTc. It seems like they're going straight into the small area, making sure they can actually get as much damage done. Patch is taking down like a look, so that's already 2 down there for the xTc side. Earth Shatter going on, taking down Void to sleep. Light is trying to take him down as much as possible, and it seems like xTc got the push that they wanted. Light is showing a last little effort to do as much damage as possible, as annoying him as possible. But it seems like xTc got that last little push, getting the point for them, and it seems like Nazul and Toy Rocket is making sure nobody pushes or interrupts the capturing.
I saw Patches there swapped off. I think he was on the McCree in the beginning in that first push. It didn't work out, and he went back to that Widowmaker that he is doing so well on lately. Gets the head pick on the Zarya, and that makes it a 5-on-6, and they can just run forward. They win the shield war, and now we see Wood actually in a very dangerous position now. Nozzle tries to catch up to him just to try to get him behind the shield, but doesn't manage to get out in time, and that's Wood and Patches down, so they might want to back up now. They have lost the shield war. Shield goes down, and now we see Grifflet running ahead and swinging them, and they could be getting a lot of ultimate charge out on the side of Noobs here. You see they've got 4 ultimates up, so they're ready to repel a lot of pushes now, but they may be overextending, going right in front of that spawn now, and just keeping on that pressure. All 6 of the Noobs players does have their ultimates at this stage though, so no matter what this xTc side do, they might have to actually just throw away a push, bait out a couple of their ultimates, and then try to win the ultimate game on the next fight.
Yeah, you actually see Sheep actually did an amazing job there by flanking, taking them from the high grounds. They did so much damage from behind, they didn't even notice it. Patches are taking on Sheep at the moment, trying to push him off. Sorry, not Sheep, I mean Light. But it seems like we have the rest of the xTc team on the payload, making sure they can get that payload as front as possible. But Noob Inc. is just blocking them off at the moment. Graviton Surge going down by the side of Noob Inc. Whole hog, and then we have an Earth Shatter going down by Griffith. We see how the 3 ultimates going down over all 3 tanks. And at the end, nobody goes down. Sorry, I spoke too soon. Griffith taking down 2. And that gives a 3-1. Patches staying down at the end. We're getting 1 kill from him. And we have a 2v6 at the moment. Sorry, 2v5. It seems like xTc is struggling to get past this little first turn here, and Noobs Inc. is just completely holding them in their spawn. There's nothing they can do at this moment. They're gonna have to try something else to get out of this little situation. Maybe like at the moment, Vood is going on a high grounds. But Light is just at the top, preventing them from doing anything at all. Doing so much damage from the distance, and the rest of the team is just holding it off on the payload, while our payload slowly moves back.
Really nice bit of just discipline mentality there from the side of Noobs. It was a very close fight, but they held on to half of their ultimates. They only expended the 3 ultimates, and they managed to survive and still pull that out. I do not know how Griffith got out on that last fight. He was on the smallest sliver of health, turns around, charges back, actually manages to get a pin on that last one. Here we see him getting a pin on Nozzle. Nozzle just a little bit forward, and now we see the TAC visor going ahead and doing a lot of work there. Life managing to pick up Anna on the back. That's 3 kills for him, 5 kills for the team, and Patches just has to run away with his tail between his legs. And like you say, this xTc side is just being shoved back into their spawn, and they've this great use of this little choke here from the side of Noobs, and they are not letting xTc come out at all and get any sort of positional advantage on them. This xTc side may actually want to take the high ground, try to flank them, and just try to get a different angle, because here we see there's Sheep coming in from the back with the Graviton. 5 players killed just out of that play. Grifflet just going down on 1 knee. Just knows how great that was as the team wipe comes out, and we've still got that Anna ulti, we've still got that Monger's sound barrier on his Lucio. Sorry, I'm just enjoying that name, the way it sounds.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool sound.
xTc is going to have to do something special here.
It seems like they are doing something special, going completely offside here, making a nice little flank. We're getting a hook on, taking NT Alva off. And it seems like they are getting the picks that they need at this moment. Sorry, I expect to see Nazul going taken down. It seems like the kills are going in favor of xTc, as and Patches are going on the Reaper at the moment. That is the push you want to see. xTc did something different there and completely pushed him off. Amazing work to xTc. That's the kind of things you want to see from him. Constantly thinking outside of the back. Patches sadly almost getting taken down there by Light. Light is a very huge nuisance at the moment here, but the rest of it, the payload is just moving on. They're just forgetting about him. Patches is just holding back there, making sure if he does push up, they can do something about it.
Really nice bit of play there in the back. That they got the Wood hook on the Anna there, just flanks around the back, and now we see Noobs coming in though. They know that they lost that last fight, but they've got the ultimate advantage. They've got the Reinhardt. Griffin charging forward, getting that pick, swinging around now with the nano boosted hammer. He's got that gold hammer for a reason, and he gets a lot of work done. Manages to push xTc all the way back, and with only 18 seconds left on it, I don't know if they're going to be able to even get to the payload in time.
The only way I think they can get to their payload is they flank all the way south, but it seems like Sheep is there to stop them. Soundberry going down, and it seems like X is making a full push. They actually got on it just in time, but it seems like they are split up too much with very little health, and they are getting sandwiched at the moment here. Earthshatter going down, getting Sheep, but nothing to show for it at this moment. We only have Patches last alive at that point. We hope he has a Death Blossom. Sorry. And gets taken down. And that was a very nice attempt by Patches, but sadly they got taken down. And Noobs Inc. taking the first round. I think the ability of xTc at this moment is not quite there. So it's sad to see that these kind of things happen. But at the moment, Noobs Inc. is one of the top teams. So they are definitely giving xTc a run for their money.
I honestly think xTc has got the skill. There we saw them on that push. They stood up. They just need to figure out what they want to do and do it well as a team. When they split up like that, Wu got the hook on NLT, got the Anna out of play, and everyone turned to focus him. And then I think it was Patches came around the back on the soldier with the attack visor, manages to tear into the back of them. There's no shield there to protect them because they're all focused on that Roadhog, and xTc tore them apart. So they've got the skills to make very clean, very well orchestrated team fights that can go in their way very quickly, in a very one way, single-sided sort of way. But they just need to do that consistently, and their Noobs just seems to have the ultimate economy on their side every time. They use the exact right number of ults from the exact right angle, gets the team wipes, and they lost one fight, but they certainly won the war. They're managing to stop the payload before it even gets to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, it seems like we have a nice little off-meta pick here from Toy Rocket, who is going with a Torbjorn. But it seems like I don't know, I think he's going to put his turret in a very odd place. In my opinion, this is not a very good place because he's going to be so far away from the turret, and then they're just going to destroy him. It's going to be a waste, in my opinion. It's going to be a small nuisance that's going to take him out so fast. Wood hasn't picked anything. He is still very far back. He's not going to make it there in time. So they're going to be in a disadvantage at this starting push.
We have seen Toy Rocket play his Torbjorn before, and I think that turret is just there to be a little bit of a nuisance, just to get out. He gets that 20% ultimate charge from it, and you see he's starting to build his turret already. This is probably the position he wants a little bit more, but it gets taken out very quickly. He doesn't have a Ryan shield in front of him to get it up and running, and that may have been a gamble that just didn't pay out the way that they wanted to, and they're getting pushed back into the corner. And now he needs to do something to try and get this up. If it works out and they don't shut you down this quickly, we see this dive comp getting into the back line. This combination of Grifflet and Light just doing a lot of work in the background. They do get shut down though. Light gets picked off, but the Noob side is on the points. They are doing a lot of damage and they're getting that percentage picked up. But a lovely bit of pulse bomb there, and Toy Rocket getting a couple of kills there as well. And it looks like xTc is actually going to be able to shut this down well enough to secure the point and render that attack pretty much useless.
Yeah, that was insanely worked there. They're a bit split up. I actually thought that Noobs Inc. was going to take it, but they didn't put enough manpower on the point. And then sadly lost their push. We see a nice little flank here coming from Sheep, which is Tracer, almost getting taken down there by Patches. But it seems like they're going to have a head-on-head fight there. Seems the rest of the team, yeah, we see Grifflet there on the Winston, causing such much damage there at the end, and it'll be a nuisance. That turret is very much annoying for him at the moment. Molten Core going off, so that's a lot of damage going to come from that turret, protecting that point, and also when that left click when Toy Rocket does amazing amount of damage. Looking like they're on the Widowmaker, trying to run for his dear life, and is taking, sadly, not taking down Toy Rocket. Toy Rocket getting support from the rest of his teammates to take down Lookalike. It seems like Sheep is on the point to try and get the point, but he's not getting anything done.
Griffith has the right idea. He needs to get on there and he needs to deal with that turret. But he went in alone and he just couldn't do anything. And now they've got this dive comp. And when you dive comping into a turret that's still up, Genji gets torn apart if the turret focuses him. And especially when there's a sound barrier that goes down like that against players like Genji, who just rely so heavily on snowballing at that point, that a sound barrier shuts it down. He can't keep getting those kills and he just keeps getting targeted by the turrets, and they really couldn't do anything in that push. So this Toy Rocket Torbjorn is actually doing a huge amount of work at this stage.
Yep, Toy Rocket is making so much use of that Toy's turret of his. It's actually funny, we talked about xTc not having a very good defense, but at the moment they're holding immensely amounts of time against Noobs Inc. here. So this is a very different turn of events. Toy Rocket may have a nice little place here for his turret, but sadly he's getting taken down by Light. The amount of damage putting on there. We have a nice little nano boost there on Griffith, but he seems to be running around looking for Big Papadine there, but seems to get taken away. Amnesia there, Lucio on the point, keeping that point on their side. Bird is going whole hard, getting a nano boost there, so he's doing a lot of damage, hooking Light to his doof, and it's end out there, lost alive. He's not even trying to run away. He accepted his death and just stood still there for the last few seconds. This is amazing defense here. Only one more push left here from Noobs Inc.'s side. Will they do it? And the 20 seconds they have remaining. It's amazing to see what xTc is pulling off here.
They've got the idea, they've got that dive comp ready, but they just seem to be lacking that coordination that they need to pull it off. Griffith's jumping in on his own, and by the time you see Sheep and Light catching up with him, he's already down. Now he's doing very well, actually manages to go down. He doesn't get off his primal rage before he gets pinned there by Nozzle. Very nice bit of play by him, and they're now on the losing foot. Everyone's still up for xTc as we now see just 2 or 3. Light pulls the Dragon Blade but doesn't get anything out of it, and as they all go down, no one's left on the point, and that's a full hold by the side of xTc. A team not always known for their defensive prowess, but doing a huge amount of work. Toy Rocket pulling out the map with that turret. Such a sneaky pick, but it worked to their advantage.
Oh no, definitely. That Toy Rocket was in my opinion, it's because of him that they survived that little defense. It was just always in the way. I mean, that turret was in the right position to make sure that point was always under siege. So even if there's a Lucio or Tracer on the point, it gets shot, you know, it's constantly being a nuisance. And then at the end there, it's just also running around going using his ultimate. Sorry, I completely forgot the name of the ultimate now, but he is just doing what he needs to do. He's basically like a 7th player there, which gave the xTc the advantage which they needed there. And it was just insane defense overall for the teamwork. Noobs Inc. was actually running in 1-by-1, not, you know, working as a team, in my opinion, what I've noticed there from the last, you know, push there they did there. So, in my opinion, xTc had the defense. Noobs Inc. had the dive comp, but Noobs Inc. actually didn't apply the, you know, coordination to make it actually work. So they actually have to sit back now, think of what just happened, and, you know, try to think a way they can come around from this.
Certainly, I think it was just a really nice bit of play from xTc. Torbjorn is one of those characters that either works or doesn't. And it's either you get flattened or you hold the point. And they did so very well to just play around the turret. Understand that the turret was there not to deal all the damage, but as a distraction, as just a threat that needed to be dealt with. And as soon as people were jumping on the turret, you saw Narzul going for that back line. He got a lovely Earth Shatter. Light managed to take out the turret at one point, but he took so long to take out the turret, and he had to dedicate so much time to it that the rest of the xTc side, my apologies, had the time to deal with the rest of the team. And Light went, right, I've got the turret. Where's everyone? Oh, they're dead already. Because Narzul got an amazing 3-man Earth Shatter. So really nicely played by xTc just to play around that turret. And Toy Rocket getting it in different positions, getting it in nice places to keep a pressure on, and a really nice bit of defense from xTc. Noobs has that ability, and I'm pretty sure each of their players has that mechanical skill to pull off a dive comp, but they need to do it in a much more cohesive manner.
Oh, definitely. Very good points you pointed out, you set up there. It seems like we are waiting for xTc to come back. It seems like they might have taken a small little toilet break at the moment. We have the side of Noobs Inc. that is ready. Yeah, and they are waiting for Verd. Verd, of course. What I have to say, Verd is actually one of the most chill people you meet in your life. It looks like he's always stoned out of his mind, but he's the most friendly person you would know. He was actually one of my old Battlefield players. So I know him personally from years of gaming together. But yes, Legion Tower, again. We seem to be seeing a lot of this map. Not that we are complaining. Yes, I am complaining. But anyway, I'm quite interested to see what they are going to pull out. It seems like the picks are going crazy on the side of xTc. They are seem to be trolling us a shitload. Thank you so much, xTc. Always a nice shout out for you guys. And it seems like we have the picks set up from Noobs Inc. side already. Previous picks, actually exactly the same previous picks from before, except for Sheep actually going now on the Soldier and lookalike on the Winston.
I must admit, I do want Noobs to win this. Not because I don't like xTc, not because I'm tired of watching Overwatch, but I just want Noobs to do this so we can see another map. I want to see the Dorado map, and I want to see this go to a game 3. And I know we say it every single time, oh, we want a game 3. But this time, it's just because I don't feel like only watching like 2 maps out of 2 whole games. So go Noobs on this round, and they've got the team lineup. They're going for, again, this dive comp, and we're going to have to see if Light and like a Luke can do that work together to get through it. But they've got a lot of people to get through, but they've got a couple of easy targets. If they get to Patches and they shut him down on their own, then they can do a lot of work. Nozzle getting a lot of damage against him, and very early on, Wood gets the pick on Light. Patches gets 2 picks in a row on both of the supports, and Noobs is going to have to do a lot of work. They've got no more sustain.
Oh, that was an insanely push there from xTc, completely wiping them off. But actually, Noobs Inc. did a traditional straight on point push there, which actually is very easy to counter, especially if you're a runner. You just have to charge that corner and you kind of force push them off. It's like a little blast there from Lucius' side. But it seems like we have xTc who is setting up in a choke point. Noobs Inc. is trying to do a nice little slow push there, with hiding behind Reinhardt Short at the moment. Grifflet, sorry, lookalike jumping in, being a nuisance there for Wood at the moment. Jumps in, going after Patches straight. But Patches gets away with the grapple hook there. It seems like Light's taking down Patches, and it seems like Noobs Inc. is pushing slowly onto that point, with the rest of the team of xTc is just holding it off. Earth Shatter going down, getting down at least 3 of them, and that's the end of Amnesia. Another boost going down, and it seems like another Earth Shatter going down there by Nazul, wiping Noobs Inc. off there. Insane amounts of damage with that Earth Shatter with the Nano boost there, and xTc holding another attack from Noobs Inc.
That last fight, I think, was actually almost single-handedly won by Wood. He did a really good job, because Light and Like a Luke were both hunting Patches on the Widowmaker, and Wood just sat by him, babysitting him, made sure to get the Winston down completely. Then the 2 of them could focus on Light, and that meant that they kept 2 of the big damage sources away from that Earthshatter. So while the Earthshatter was great, while it caught 3 people, there was no one there to focus on it. And then Wood could come in from the back, gets the pick on the back line, and a really nice bit of play here from the side of xTc has managed to keep them the point. But now Noobs comes in. They just lost Light on the Genji, but they do manage to take the battle, get themselves on the point, and it's their turn to start bringing up some really nice bit of play on their own and some percentage building up for them.
Just to listen, guys, I am sorry again. Archimans, you are right. I did curse the game, sadly. I forgot the overlay on yet again. But anyway, hopefully, yeah, you guys can see again. I am sorry, guys. Yeah, it gets a lot sometimes. But then again, we are back online now again. And we have seen like xTc has actually had a very wide defense there to start. Samber again down. We have a Raging Monkey at the moment from here from lookalike. Nazoo charging in there, not getting anything in from there. Nano Boost going down from Soldier. Troy Rocket getting Earth Shattered. Charge there at the end. Gripper taking him down. And it seems like we have 2 tanks here from xTc. Earth Shatter going down. Sadly, not getting anything from there. Void, the last one alive. Tried to doing whole hog from a little stress area, I think. Sheep taking both tanks down with this tactical vision. And it seems like Noobs Inc. actually propelled them completely off. And now Noobs Inc. is on the defending side.
So guys, sorry about that overlay again. Yeah, it happens unfortunately. More to Sabrefox than most other people, but
I'm noob. I'm sorry. I'm completely noob. Sorry.
but it's fine. I'm sure you guys have got a lot of Overwatch to watch as we see the combination. Light comes out, gets a triple kill on the Dragon Blade, and he's now going crazy on the backline. There's probably your player of the game. He gets the 4 kills just as the xTc side came out. He just pulled that blade and dove straight into the middle of them, getting
a nice little quadruple kill. Yes.
You know, even if he went down at that stage, his job was done. He got them that man advantage, and now xTc is going to have to get on the point quickly. There's only 8% left, and there's actually got Amnesia's on the point, jumping around as Lucio, but his team's not with him, and he does go down to Sheep as the rest of the side have to try and get in at this stage, but they're being held outside. Toy Rocket playing in and around the point on his Tracer, but he does run straight into the face of a soldier, and that's not the way to stay alive as a Tracer, and they do take the first point. Goes to Noobs Gaming.
It seems you might actually get your wish for a 3rd map. So yes, this is quite interesting to see. But then again, we did actually see that xTc not that good on their first game. But when it comes to the 2nd and 3rd round, they will be coming back strong and showing the team a thing or two. This map, or this section of this map, not so sure how they do on this. We actually did see how they did play against DC on this. They were scattered all over the place and they just couldn't get their feet. But I'm sure that was just a small little hiccup from the side of xTc. This is a new team. xTc is warmed up, so it's time to see what they can do on this side with only 3 seconds before we are going live.
What I like to see already is that xTc has just quit with the dive comp. They're going with the Nazul. Reinhardt, they're sticking behind him, and they've always seemed to work out better in this sort of play. We see Noobs still running the dive comp, and they certainly proved last time that it works very, very well if they can get it working. They've got the Reinhardt shield of their own on Grifflet there. Nazul charging in ahead, and geez, that's a lot of hate for Grifflet on the Reinhardt being both charged and Roadhog hook, but he stays alive, and now it's his turn to turn around and start doing a lot of damage, but he does. No, he's still alive there, even after getting hooked again, and he's swinging away, gets the triple kill, and it looks like this map, this first fight is going to the side of Noobs Gaming.
Yeah, as I always say, tanks be tanking, and Griffith is definitely being that tank. Staying alive with all that damage, just constantly being targeted. xTc was just not able to get that tank down, especially with the support he's getting from his healers. It's an amazing teamwork coming from Noobs Inc. at the moment now. xTc making a nice little push in the far left side. It seems like they are trying to get the kills at the moment. Slowly pushing in. Vert is falling a bit behind with the team push. Getting on point. We're just waiting for that first kill to come, and then the battle's going to start. Grifflin has been the first one. Earthshatter going down, getting 3 people down. Put to sleep at the moment and gets killed by Patches there. So that's already an advantage there from xTc's side. The rest of the team is slowly pushing up. The heals are there. Nazul charging in, and then it seems like Patches is just going crazy with the soldier there, but not too much use at the back at the moment. It seems like we have the Sleep Dart coming from Lookalike is taking a nice nap. Light's taking down Bird, and it seems like Nazul is just losing his shield. Charges off map, and then it seems like Amnesia's last alive there. Light is going, oh, Dragon Blade, so we see some nice little plays there. Gets taken out. Light is doing an amazing work there. Nazul taking him down. Sheep is doing so much amazing work, and it seems like Grifflet yet again making sure that xTc has nothing to show for the push they have now.
What an incredibly long, drawn-out team fight, but it worked in the side of Noob's favor. Yes, they managed to hold it, but more importantly, they must have built up, what, 20-30% worth of objective timing? Objective percentage in that push? And they did manage to repel it, so xTc actually only has 1 more. They do have a couple of ultimates at their hand. If they can combo that Nazul Earth Shadow with the Patches Tac Visor, they could do a lot of work. They are running in now, but they do have to get through that Grifflet shield first and foremost. And they put that Earth Shadow into the shield from Grifflet, and it does nothing. And it's now Patches, up to Patches to do a lot of work with his Tac Visor, but he can't do it. Sheep's Tac Visor is more powerful. Light dashes through to the back, and it now looks like the 2 of them are just starting to clean up the last players from the side of xTc. Everyone's down. Overtime is clicking down, and Noobs take the 2nd map already.
Yep, you are definitely getting your wishes, sir. It seems like we are definitely going to go into a 3rd map. But I'm not saying it yet because xTc can still make a very good comeback. It might be 0-2, but xTc can still make that a 3-2. But then again, that means xTc gonna have to do some amazing plays there, making sure they can get 3 games straight in a row. So that's gonna be a lot of pressure on their side at the moment. No pressure for Noobs Inc. at the moment, but anything can happen. It's still anybody's game, guys.
This is xTc's preferred map out of the 3. I don't know, they haven't told me that, but just from what I've seen from the 2 teams, this is how they prefer to.
You're a psychic like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna claim it, you know. I am pro analyst and all of that. So here they come. Grifflet's charging ahead. He's a little bit far away from his team, but he waits up for them, and they take the high ground, getting there very, very quickly, doing a nice bit of speed boost thanks to that Mongo's Lucio, and they're now sitting just choking that xTc side down, and they managed to get a nice little bit of picks there. Light doing a lot of work getting into the back there. Eventually gets taken out by Patches, but he's got 2 picks already, and they now have the man advantage and are getting onto the point already.
Yeah, I see what Light does there actually. He waits for those little small health picks and then he just kind of dashes in there, gets a hit, and then dashes out again. Basically making sure he gets that 1 kill that matters, because every kill actually matters. But when there's a small fight, it actually does a lot of damage. Light is insanely well, focusing on the people who has the least amount of health. So the communication at this moment is very amazing. It seems looking like it's jumping in and seeing what he can do at the moment. Very low Earth Shatter going down, getting 3 people. Grifflet is on fire today, and it seems like, yeah, xTc got team killed. That is not something you want to see from their side at this moment.
What a good play by Grifflet. He understands that Nozzle still has the shield up, and that shield's not going down anytime soon. So they throw like a Luke into the back there, distract them with Winston, and Grifflet actually charges forward, runs through the shield, and then throws down the Earth Shatter. Doesn't try and time it or anything like that. Just gets past the blocking shield and gets that Earth Shatter down. And they're now actually getting pushed really hard by this xTc side. They've got the kills though. Sheep and Light now starting to clean up. Just a really good play by Noobs here, holding this defense so incredibly solidly that even with the ultimate's advantage down now, they've actually managed to, yeah, they're still ultimate down, and they're still managing to hold this so well, pulling up already almost 75% of this map.
Yeah, you actually see xTc has at least 5 ultimates up. First ultimate going off there by Amnesia, who's going crazy monkey, and Nazul taking down Lucky Luke, so that's already advantage to xTc. xTc taking down a support there, Griffith taking down Patches, Light taking down Bird. So it seems like the trades are coming in left and right. Nazul taking down Griffith. Like Light at the back trying to take down Patches, sorry, not Patches, Toy Rocket. But it seems like the point might actually go in favor of xTc at this moment. Toy Rocket, high nooning, and so that's not something you want to see from your side. That's not a nice little sight. Earth Shatter going on, getting down 4 people. Oh my god, Griffith destroyed them there. And it seems like Amnesia is the last there, and it's looking like it's just chilling on point, sitting, eating his little jam out of the jar. He is overconfident there. Sadly, that was an amazing play there, and you got your wish here. We are going to the 3rd map.
I certainly didn't expect it to be so one-sided though. I didn't expect a 3-0, I must admit. There it is. That was the Dragon Blade that I called. See here, Light pulls this Dragon Blade as they come out of spawn. He reflects one, gets to the side, gets the nano boost as well. I didn't see that the first time, and just look at the speed with which he tears apart the side of xTc here. So really nice bit of play from him. He did very well to keep alive, and there we see out of 3 Dragon Blades he got 7 Dragon Blade kills. So really nice bit of play by him, but also really well played to the Noobs supports there. They managed to keep their team alive. We saw there Grifflet was so close to dying 3 or 4 times in the one push, and his healers were on the point, never missing a shot, never missing an amped up there. Keeps them alive, and they managed to hold that perfectly.
Oh no, definitely. NRT is being an amazing Ana today, with Lights just constantly hammering them with Genji, and then Grifflet just being there on the front line with his shield, making sure nobody gets damaged, and when he gets the right opportunity using an Earth Shatter. The team composition at this moment is amazing. And xTc sadly has to try something else at this moment because they are just... It's the last round though for them, so they have to do something different here. Otherwise, they're not gonna they're gonna suffer here. They cannot have the second lose today. They have to show and prove themselves. But we have an assault map. We have Hanamura. Oh my gosh. Wait, isn't it Dorado? Yeah, it's Dorado. I was like sitting there, what the hell? Right, Dorado. Scratch that. But actually, I think Hanamura would have been much more fun to watch, in my opinion. But Dorado...
No one wants to see Hanamura. No one wants to see Draw Amura.
Oh, but it's so much fun. It's one of my much favorite maps. Anyway, Dorado. Dorado is actually one of my Bastion maps, surprisingly. So yes... Bastion on the escort with a Reinhardt and even a Torbjorn, if you can believe that. That is the most annoying setup you can play against. It's so hard with Torbjorn's turret, Reinhardt protecting him with a Bastion, constantly healing himself and doing that amount of damage. It's not something you want to go up against.
Disclaimer,
yes.
I don't play with him. I refuse to advocate for the Bastion map, for the Bastion on attack. It does not happen. Anyone in chat, you are more than welcome to weigh in on your feelings about it, but I am not advocating Bastion on attack.
Hey,
so
I just want to put this out there. I was 40 points away from Grandmaster, so I think I deserve a little Bastion time for me, okay? Me time goes Bastion time. Otherwise, I'm just constantly being a Reinhardt main, and if not Reinhardt main, just, being a tank main. But still, I deserve my Bastion time, sir.
You can have your Bastion time then, guys. You are the better player, so I will give it to you, and I will take your wisdom. You are a better man than I, sir, but I'm still not playing Bastion.
Right, it seems like we are heading off on Dorado, the third map, which is the deciding map.
Do we have an overlay on?
Actually, I was just about to say thank you to Joe for reminding me, or not reminding me, just pointing that up, but the overlay is off. We are live, they can see gameplay, so we should have a nice little view for all the people to see. Actually, this is the first time we actually cast this map, so yes, this is something different. This is the wish we got.
I'm very excited. We see the toy rocket Torbjorn again, and let's see if they can manage to pull off that sort of defense again. It is slightly different because of the fact that we don't have a checkpoint that you have to attack. We do have a payload from the beginning. This isn't a hybrid map, so if he can get that up and keep the payload in the kill box, then it'll be great. But if this noob side does manage to just stall it out and get the payload past that, we could see the toy rocket Torbjorn falling off quite quickly, and he has to reposition, but he did show to have a lot of skill and a lot of presence of mind to reposition that when it came to it.
Oh no, that's very true. He actually did, change that up quite a bit. But then again, I'm pretty sure if he kind of figures out, okay, this is not working, he'll take something else. Even though Toy Rocket is an insanely good shot, so he will change to other two. I think on defense, I don't think he'll go on a Tracer. So my guess is he'll go on a McCree, in my opinion. So yes, you can only hope my analytics visual things will be whatever we be there. So yes, but it seems like we have already a nice little sneaky spot here of the turret. Not already. Oh, they didn't spot it yet. Only having Lucio on a point. It seems like we're sending the rest of the team making a flank. Patches is already preparing for it. So yeah, let's see what they can do with this.
Oh, they're in a very dangerous position in this corner there. That Anna grenade just exactly on point now. They managed to get the heal grenade and don't lose anyone to that. And actually a very nice push by them. We see Nozzle now in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by team enemy, and really nice play by Noobs there. What a good push there. I honestly thought they were going to be in a lot more trouble there. They did render the Torbjorn turret completely useless though there. Toy Rocket didn't get the ultimate charge that he would have wanted out of that, and they didn't stall it out. So really good presence of mind by Noobs to go around that flank and manage to get up those stairs, even though they had the disadvantage of not having the high ground. And this is an incredibly quick push all the way to the choke. We see xTc just pulling back. They realize they can't re-engage, and now they're not even taking up the high ground on this next spot.
Yeah, it seems like Toy Rocket actually going on a Tracer from the defending side. He is already going head on head with that, with Light, which is Genji. Wood is almost getting taken down there. Sheep is hammering him at the moment with Soldier. Light going high, Dragon Blade going off there. not getting any kills at the moment. Gets put to sleep there and taken down. Nice work there by xTc, making sure he doesn't do any damage whatsoever. Toy rockets on that payload being a nuisance, constantly just blinking around there. And it seems Rudy's gonna get that hook. No, sorry, misses that hook, but gets on that payload. Mongo is just pushing him off there. Rudy getting taken down at the end there by Sheep. But it seems like xTc does have the high ground. Lookalike is pushing them off that high ground. Patches might be in some trouble. Raging Monkey going off, and it seems like we have a tactical vision by Sheep, getting a double kill there on Amnesia. And also on Patches. That is not something you want to see. And then it seems like at the end, Sheep getting at least 4 kills for his team.
I honestly thought that attack visor was going to be wasted there because Nazul had the presence of mind and he went, right, this is the biggest threat, and he shoved his shield in his face. But Sheep there, seeing this, he went onto the stairs behind him and actually managed to be able to shoot over the shield, get the picks on the players behind Nazul. Nazul had the shield in his face the entire time, but just really good positioning from Sheep there to get onto that high ground and make him completely useless. And now we see an Earth Shatter. That's really, really good. He does get the charge through, and this is Noobs playing exceptionally well. And Nazul's now again left and all alone, trying to contest the payload and just can't do it.
Yeah, as you actually spoke about Sheep's good positioning, he actually made already a nice flank there, making sure they could take it up from each side. Nazul was kind of pointless there of his shield because you hold your shield up to one side, Sheep's on the other side, and if you turn to Sheep, the whole team is on the other side. But it seems like Noobs Inc. is completely walking over the xTc defense at this moment. They have to work on something else, maybe change up, maybe even go Bastion. I think it might be a good choice here at this moment for them. I'm not actually trolling, I'm actually being serious about the Bastion. Maybe try the Bastion with all the tanks they have at the moment.
I know you're not trolling at this stage. I would make fun of you, but they need something at this stage. But I think the Genji at this stage, Light is just putting too much pressure on them, and a Bastion against the Genji is always a risky play because of that deflect chance. It just seems that xTc is not getting the positioning that they really want. Not once. I think that first point where they had the high ground was the only time that they had a high ground, and there is high ground at all places here, and they're just not utilizing it, and it's allowing Light to get into the A, get to the back line, and take out the supports and put a lot of damage in. Now we see they're just the crazy monkey going in the background, and he keeps them so busy. He keeps all 6 players locked in the spawn, and his team just walks the payload onto the final point, and great attack there from Noobs. Just rolled over xTc. They just don't seem to have this map figured out.
Actually, yeah, that's very true. But the thing is, what you say xTc is not actually utilizing the high ground. They do actually use the high ground, but Lookalike with his Winston is just being so annoying for them and a complete nuisance that he's actually pushing them off from the high ground. So you have Lookalike that's pushing them off the high grounds, and then comes Sheep afterwards on that high ground, constantly there shooting them. They have no way of getting back up there again unless they take the whole way around again, but in that time the team's already wiped off, so there's nothing xTc can do. The composition, the communication from Noobs Inc. at the moment is just insane. It makes me wonder if they actually threw that first game just for the hell of it, or just to see what xTc, what they're still planning.
Let's not take away from xTc. xTc is a big favorite on Kings Row. They love that map. They've got that map figured out, and they played really, really well. So nicely done to xTc. Noobs just seems to have this map in the bag, and they played it so well. That instant decision to go for the flank just shows that they know this map and they've practiced this thing so well. I think it might have been their selection when it came to the drafting. I'm not 100% sure, but they did play very, very well on this so far on that attack, and we're going to have to see if their defense is up to the same sort of standard. And we see Mongo's actually going for the Mercy on this stage. I always enjoy Mercy on defense because if you do have something wrong where they get a pick or two that you just put you on the back foot, the Mercy raise just turns it around, allows you to get that second chance. And now we see Light and Sheep just setting up on the side, and they're going for a nice combination of the dive comp with the solid damage from Grifflet on the back, but not a lot of tanks actually, only the Winston on the back foot to try and keep the team safe. They're really going for a very offensive sort of defense.
No, Patches already have a nice little pick there of the Widowmaker. It seems like they are already in so much trouble there. The kind of composition they have going here is to be more of a nuisance, causing more damage than actually taking damage. So Noobs Inc. is looking for to do more damage than actually protecting it, but it seems like we're going to have to do some changes pretty soon because that did not work. That first defense setup had been completely repelled by xTc, so that's amazing work from their side. That's the kind of things you want to see, a nice little comeback from xTc's side. Toy Rocket sadly killing himself there with the rocket launcher there. This is certainly not Team Fortress, we can just do those little bunny hops with it. It seems like Lookalike is jumping in there with Winston, seeing if he can stop the payload. The rest of the team is following up. It seems like we still have the same picks there from Noobs Inc., but they are on fire at the moment. People sleeping all over the place. They are getting the kills while counting at this moment.
There in that first point, we saw Noobs all coming from one direction, so they were very predictable to xTc, but here, they split up so well, they surrounded the entire xTc side, and we saw Nozzle chasing after Sheep on the Tracer in the side room and left his team there while the rest of them just started jumping around and surrounding them, and a really nice bit of coordinated play from Noobs shoves this xTc side off the point, and now they're going to see if they can keep doing that, if they can keep using that elusiveness to their advantage. They should be able to hold this, but xTc just needs to focus now, make sure they get a targeted shutdown of these elusive players, and they should be okay. But again, getting picked off one by one. Sheep in the back line. Lucky Luke takes out his player, but Grifflet's here to clean up the last little scraps of the xTc side.
Yeah, it seems like the meta that Noobs Inc. hacks at the moment is working quite well for them. And there's nothing with xTc. xTc is trying to change, you know, here and there. Patches going off from Widowmaker to Zarya. Verd is no longer on a Roadhog. He is going on a full-on Reaper, but it just doesn't seem to be working for them. We have to do something different, you know. It seems Lights here and Lookalike already on the backline, causing so much damage there. Annoyance. And then constantly changing the lights. It seems like Grifflet also just wiping them off at the moment. The soldier there, Verd last one alive that is trying to stop them. Sadly gets taken down at the end of an NLT. And it seems like the xTc assault got taken out yet again. Noobs Inc. is showing that the defense is definitely superior at this moment.
xTc is trying to draft very, very well. Patches going on that Zarya. It's just in an effort to try to keep their players alive. Amnesia is so vulnerable on that Zenyatta that he's getting picked off very, very quickly, and they just don't have that sort of ability to stop the guys diving in and around them. I think that's why Wool went on to the Reaper just to try and shut them down and get some damage in their close range as they dive. But now we see actually xTc is doing well. They've lost 3 already though. They've got the 2 picks, but it's not enough. They've used all of their ultis and they're still not in control of this payload.
Yeah, it seems like only Nazu is the last one alive there. He is going to be in a lot of trouble at the end. Charge off there to get away from the team there, seeing if he can get rest by his team. It seems like at the moment it might be going in the favor of xTc, but we have already Pulse Bomb there going off, taking down Amnesia. He did not see that coming in from Chase's side. Nice work there by Sheep. This is the last little final push there by xTc. Graviton Search going down and taking on 2 of them. Beautiful work there. Sheep, sorry, Light is the last one alive. And sorry, no, I spoke too soon. Sheep and NLT comes from the rescue. It seems like they are holding off to the team, and like Luke comes in from the spawn. It seems like Noob Inc. is regaining their full strength, and xTc is just fighting it to see if they can get it. It is a neck-on-neck fight here for this payload to see if they can get it moving. With that overtime on there, it seems like we have another little tactical vision there from Grifflet. Not getting anything at the moment for it. This is a head-on-head battle. Light is just causing so much damage there at the moment, and he's just staying alive, constantly jumping up and down.
Yes, these Noobs players are just so evasive that they cannot. The xTc side just could not get rid of everyone off the payload. They had people jumping in and out and around, and just where's an aim hack when you need one just to shut these guys down? But they finally do manage to lock down, and now we see the nano burst onto the Winston. That's one way to shut down an elusive person, is just put a massive Tesla gun in his face and shut him down. We see Light coming in with his Dragon Blade, has managed to pick off 2 of them already so far, and he's managed to get the 3rd, the 4th there, as you see him cleaning up that back line, and that's an entire team wipe, and they managed to shut it down. That is the game going to Noobs.
Wow, insane playing there from Noobs Inc. side, and a very nice shot from xTc. You guys did amazing, playing 2 games back on back. But sadly at the end, Noobs Inc. did take it with lights on that Genji constantly being a nuisance and constantly just, you know, hammering of the Dragon Blades. That was an insane game to watch, and yes, he did get player of the game. Amazing play there for him, and actually that's the last play as well.
He did so well to constantly be elusive, doesn't get in the face of anyone, doesn't stick around for too long, and he's so difficult to track down. Man, that guy's 70% kill participation. I mean, that just shows. Sheep was doing huge amounts of damage from his side, keeping pressure on from one side. Light and the Tracer and the Winston both jumping around in the back, all 3 of them executing the dive comp to absolute perfection. They got it slightly wrong in the first map. xTc managed to take it there, but Noobs really showing once they'd warmed up, they got that cohesion, and they did insanely well to take this last map.
Definitely the communication was there from both teams, but at the end it seems like Noobs Inc. just showed that they are the better team. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is the Premier League game from the DGL. This stream was made possible by Gamer Gadgets and Sadie South Africa. I'm joined by Ulturism, and guys, thank you so much for joining us. Ulturism, do you have any last words?
Guys, if you want to keep up to date on our broadcasts, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. All the details are there in the description below. Subscribe to Sabrefox's channel. He'll make sure that you get that notification whenever we go live. Keep an eye on those channels, on Discord and everything like that. And guys, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to cast this game with you, Saber. And guys, thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.